Another cup disaster for Amakhosi as they are knocked out of the CAF Confed Cup in a dramatic fashion. Going into the last game, Amakhosi was sitting on top of the table, number 1, with 10 points. And at the end of that game, they are sitting third and eliminated from the group stages. So, 2-1 at the end of 90 minutes. It is Zamalek 2, Amakhosi 1, meaning they are out of the competition. And Al Masry, through goal difference, edges Amakhosi. So, this video will look at Amakhosi's journey in this CAF Confed Cup. We'll look at how Amakhosi went about their campaign and what worked and what didn't work. So, did they obtain enough points to qualify? We'll also touch on that. If it was any other normal group, what could have been the outcome? So, let's get into the journey that Amakhosi went through during this competition. So, Amakhosi, through the group stages, on the first round, they had to play Al Masry away in Egypt. The game ended 2-1 in favor of Al Masry. But it is a game where Kaizer Chiefs blame themselves because they should have, at a minimum, obtained a draw, meaning 1 point away from home, which could have been massive for their campaign. Because it could have meant that on round 5, they could have qualified already. So Kaizer Chiefs was wasteful in that game. They didn't use the chances that they got, and they got punished for silly mistakes, as Al Masry wasn't in their best. But Kaizer Chiefs were able to match them and unable to obtain a point. And we saw the Cocomelons playing vital role in Umfundo Vilakazi, Dusha Balala, Aiden McCarthy playing vital role in that match. So after round 1, Amakhosi with 0 points, Al Masry with 3. Then going into round 2, it was Kaizer Chiefs versus Zamalek. Kaizer Chiefs was playing at home in Polokwane. It was a must-win match for Kaizer Chiefs. But they fall 1-0 before halftime, meaning now they're up against it, and Zamalek can defend, knowing very well that they're going to obtain 3 points. At a minimum, they'll settle for a draw. And Zamalek did exactly that, frustrated Kaizer Chiefs until the end, where Kaizer Chiefs scored literally in the last minute of the game and dropping 2 points in the process. And now it means that Kaizer Chiefs are going to round 3 of the games with 1 point out of 3 potential 9 points. So, going to round 3 of the games, Kaizer Chiefs traveled to Zesco, and they needed a win at all cost. It was one of those games where Kaizer Chiefs knew exactly what they went there for. It was in a very bad pitch. It was mud football. Not even pleasing in the eye, but Kaizer Chiefs knew the only thing they needed there was 3 points and their campaign would be back. And they didn't disappoint. They did exactly that. 3 massive points away from home for Amakhosi, and takes them to 4 points and closer to Zamalek and Al Masry. Now, going into the round 4 of the games, Zesco traveled to South Africa to face Amakhosi in Moses Mabhida Stadium, where Kaizer Chiefs just tend to do well in that stadium. And Kaizer Chiefs didn't disappoint. They put Zesco on the sword and obtained all 3 points. And KC are on 7 points at this point in time. After 4 rounds, their campaign is fully back. Now enters round 5, the most critical game of their campaign. The permutations were already out. Kaizer Chiefs needed a clean sheet win. And that would have been it. Automatic qualification. Kaizer Chiefs needed to play the best game, the game of their life, knowing very well that if they win with a clean sheet or if they win with a 2-goal margin, they were through to the next phase of the CAF Confed. But Kaizer Chiefs were wasteful in that game. And the game ended 2-1. Big, massive result for Al Masry, meaning that they were still able to qualify going into the last round. And Kaizer Chiefs were on the back foot, traveling to Egypt and into the last game that knocked out Kaizer Chiefs in the most dramatic of fashions, through a goal difference, having everything being equal. So, enter round 6. Zamalek versus Kaizer Chiefs in Egypt. Zamalek leading 2-0. And Kaizer Chiefs facing a massive mountain. They managed to get one back to make it 2-1 and a dramatic finish, because it meant a draw for Kaizer Chiefs, they were qualifying. A win, they were qualifying, but they couldn't do both. They lost the game 2-1. And dumping out of the group stages in the most painful way, because you get dumped out with 10 points in normal campaigns. That's enough to qualify to the next round. But this wasn't a normal campaign. So, should Kaizer Chiefs be proud of themselves on how they fared in the group stages? Definitely. Definitely they can be proud of how they played. Because the 2 games they lost were away from home. So they can be proud of themselves. So, what is the road ahead for Kaizer Chiefs now that they are out of the CAF Confed Cup, knocked out of the trophy they were supposed to be defending, the Nedbank Cup in round 1, knocked out of the Carling Cup, and also knocked out, didn't even qualify for the MTN 8. Now, there's only the league that remains for Amakhosi to salvage their season. Asking them to win one trophy, it will be a massive ask, because it will mean that they need to win the league. And we know with winning the league, what's required is consistency. Winning every single game. Winning that boring midweek game in Polokwane against Polokwane City. You will be facing a bus. It means that. Winning massive games against Sundowns and Loftus. Or massive games against Pirates at FNB Stadium. So that will be a tall ask. So what will success look like for Kaizer Chiefs? Will it be finishing anything above 4th, given that they didn't finish in the top 8 last season? And qualifying for either CAF Confed or CAF Champions League? So, let's see what they have within their arsenal of players. Let's look at the Cocomelon potential that they have and how that can help them salvage the season. We're looking at Mfundo Vilakazi, currently in good form, playing very well. but the coaches just rotate a lot. You are unable to see a consistent lineup that allows for these players to grow in confidence even further. But Mthumbu Vilakazi having a great season, having bagged a couple of assists already. We have Mdu Shabalala, who's living in his potential, who's getting himself into critical phases, one-on-one with goalkeepers, but his finishing is currently letting him down. Can the co-coaches be able to polish his finishing on time for them to return to the league fixtures, and on time for them to finish strong in this season? We have Thulani Tachmabaz in that midfield, who's a general, who's growing in confidence, having obtained so many minutes so far. Could he peak on time to assist Amakosi to get a decent finish on the season? We have Aiden McCarthy. Oh, what a player. What a player. He was suspended for the Zamalek game. So his return to the league games will be critical to help Amakosi to finish and salvage this season. You also have Luke Bartman, who's been introduced and getting critical minutes. Will he peak this season, or is it already over, provided the number of competition in this squad? And lastly, we have Wandile Duba, who's been struggling since the start of this season. He's been introduced recently on a couple of games, but is not yet the player that we saw last year, who made Suarez to be shipped back from his loan for Sundowns. So there is a lot still at stake for Amakosi. The league, top 4 or top 8, depending on how you look at it. So, should management continue to put their trust on the core coaches to finish the season? What would you like to see? So, don't forget to subscribe. Is the league title on the line now? Will Kaizer Chiefs be consistent enough to win it or to get in the top 4? Do share with us your thoughts. We would like to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe. Dango.